Hey everyone, welcome back. Our next guest is an actress, producer, writer, comedian, and CEO of Latin Hollywood Films, Inc., and also the Omnicultural TV and Omnicultural TV Festival, a unique platform for independent producers of all cultures worldwide to showcase new ideas for television and over the top platforms. And today she joins us to share her new comedy special, Broads Abroad, when, the story goes, when most of the comedy clubs are closed in LA due to the pandemic, Kiki and her friends go abroad to find an audience in a one-of-a-kind stand-up comedy and travel special. Here now to share more is actress, producer, writer, comedian, Kiki Melendez.
So good
How
to
are
see
you?
you.
Rhina, ¿cómo está? I was gonna wear, your little scarf that I was actually gonna wear a shirt that had the same print. Do you believe that?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Imagine. You got the memo. What kind of sweater? Because you didn't end up
That
wearing
would
it.
have been funny.
I'm loving your background, loving it.
Oh, this is my little villa in Punta Cana. I'm here in pre-production of a docu-film called Niños de Cristo. Very excited about it.
Oh my gosh, it sounds exciting. Congratulations on all you have accomplished thus far. Kiki, you and I go way back, and thank you for always revisiting and sharing your new endeavors with our viewers. But first, again, I want to say congratulations. I know you're being honored by the Dominican Film Festival this year. So let's talk a little bit about that, as well as your wonderful new project, Broads Abroad.
Well, I was very surprised when Armando had met with everyone from the Dominican Film Festival, his board of directors, and he called me and he says, "We want to honor you." And I'm like, "Really?" And I was so excited. I was like, "That's so cool." He goes, "Yeah, you've done a lot. Like you've put shows on the air. You've put movies in the theaters. And you have helped other people. So we want to let everyone know, we want to honor you." So he goes, "And we're going to make it a Kiki party at the Copacabana." It's not a normal, like theatrical, sitting in a theater type of thing. It's like, party.
And I ain't missing that one. So, let's just share with our viewers a little bit about what you're referring to, right? So, you just recently released Broads Abroad, which is available on streaming platforms. You also have another one called Las Reinas de las Risas. And then, of course, there's your film that's been out there for quite some time, The Journey of a Female Comic. And then there's the Omnicultural TV Fest that I mentioned in your introduction. However, I think it's important for our viewers to know. And then there's way more before that. Because the hot tamales. I mean, you even produced us in Latinas on PMS and the Apollo. I mean, I could just go on and on and on.
Which is how we met. And that was such a huge success. You're such a great actress. All of Hollywood came. Did you see that?
I remember.
All of Hollywood came, and we had such an amazing response for that.
At
project.
the world famous comedy store.
Yes.
The world famous comedy store.
Ida Silverio made it happen. She, reached out to me. I met you. I think you stayed at my house. Didn't you stay with me?
Yes, I did.
I'm like, I am such a upscale producer. It's like everyone sleep over. That's it. That's the budget.
It's all good, and I felt welcomed, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I'm only mentioning these things because it's so important that that our viewers understand, if they're just familiarizing themselves with you. It's challenging for women in this business, and it's challenging for women not only in acting, not only in comedy, in producing. You've been able to forge through all of that and not only produce your work, but produce other people's work, which is why I mentioned Latinas on PMS. And now, in addition to that, you've created this festival called Omnicultural TV Fest, and that kind of like links in everybody in the business that pertains to actually having things distributed, picked up, and or IPs even considered, along with executive producers and so forth. And so that's a lot of work, is my point. And so I wonder what drives you to not only produce work for yourself and for others, because you are employing other people in the process. What inspires you to even have created this other platform as well, Omnicultural Television Fest? I think
Well,
that's
you know, you hit it on the nose. Like everybody calls me, Kiki, help me, Kiki, help me. And I love everybody and I want to help everybody. And it's so hard for me to say, it's so hard. You don't understand. It's so hard. Each project takes, you know, all of you to get it to the next level. And I didn't want to say no. And I said, what can I do to help? And believe it or not, everyone is shocked because I did Omnicultural Tea Fest and I did it in partnership with the National Association of Television Programming Executives, who asked me to do a platform for independent producers because they represent all the executives. And as we were doing it, you know, people are like, aren't you getting a percentage? What if somebody gets a huge multi-million-dollar deal, which one of my Mexican creators got a multi-million-dollar deal. And they said, you should be getting a percentage. And I'm like, no, I don't even want a percentage because then I'm not doing it for the reason in my heart. The reason in my heart was to, you know, put together a platform that people can collaborate, that people can work with each other, that the industry could see the amazing talent we have in this multicultural, gorgeous, multicultural community. And that was my goal. It wasn't to like get a percentage. Then it becomes, you know, so complicated and so, ¿cómo se dice eso?
I know, dynamic. There's too many layers. I get it. I get everything.
And then I have to worry about it. Then I have to be at meetings. Then I have to make sure it goes through. Then I have to, and I just couldn't do that. And my investors, you know, people that want to invest and people that invest, they're like, but you know, you should get a percentage. So I'm like, no, you know, I know God is going to help me to keep this going without having to do that. I don't want to do that. But people do have to support it. When they see Omni, they've got to support it because that's the only way I can continue to do it. But that's my goal, you know, is because I didn't want to keep saying, I cannot help you. I wanted to say, how can I help you? What can I do? Like this year, we have 50 networks and production companies taking pitches.
That's beautiful.
For Omni. I mean,
that's
can you
awesome.
imagine that?
No, that's awesome. And that's only been in a matter of a couple of years. So you definitely have, you have the eye. And that's the whole point of this. And you're being honored by the Dominican Film Festival, which obviously you're Dominican.
Right.
I just want to, because I think it's important that we all understand that we're kind of building or expanding the platform for Latinx voices. Yeah, there's this pot we're all put into. And so since that is the case, I think it's important that we recognize that there is a Dominican Film Festival happening in New York from November, what are the dates? Wait, what's the name of the?
November 1st through the 9th.
Right, November 1st through the 9th. And I know you're being honored on the 7th. 8th, right, the 8th.
The 7th is a super cool panel. The 7th is at the Alianza Dominicana, and we have the showrunner, Bravo. She has a first look deal with Bravo. She's a dear friend, Nadine Rajabi. She was in my Showtime special, Hot Tamales Live. So anyway, to make the long story short, another person that's incredibly grateful, Emily Tosta, Venezuelan Dominican actress, Renee Rosado. They also, I came up with this idea and I pitched it to Armando. I go, what if we did 3 generations of Latinos, like how it was when I arrived in LA in the 90s, how it was for Renee when he arrived in the 2000s, and how it is for Emily that she just arrived. What are the differences for Latinos? You know, how are things changed? How have things gone forward or backwards? So I think it's going to be an incredible panel.
It sounds incredible. So that's happening on November 7th, and then November 8th, right? Because it's going to be, it looks like it's almost like Kiki week at the film festival, right? And then on November 8th is when you're having the Copacabana Red Carpet event where they're going to be screening the actual films that you produced and starred in.
Right. So yeah, I'm so excited because I get to show my people brought abroad. I'm so proud of that. I mean, I combined, stand-up comedy with a tour of the Dominican Republic. And I'm so proud of it. Everybody that worked on it, I'm proud of everyone. And it was like, to show my country, to everybody, like every little city, and why is the city special, and the history of the Dominican Republic. And I mean, I just feel so proud, really, really proud. And when Maverick Entertainment told me that it was going to be on Peacock and Amazon Prime and Tubi, Plex, Sling, I was like, wow, I was so grateful to God. You know, we did it with the support. We were only able to do it with the support of Barceló Bávaro Grand Resort. If it hadn't been for them, I mean, they were incredibly supportive. I told them, listen, you got to help females in comedy. You know, they did it, and they did it. And then we did, you know, while I was there, I said, you know what? Why don't I do what I did for women in America? Why don't I do it for women in Dominican Republic? And I created the first stand-up comedy show, female-driven, all female-driven, the first all-female comedy show in this country. And people were like, what is that? You know, and the comics were like, what do you mean I stand with a mic? And, you know, and I go, yeah, you've done it before, you know, whatever. Everybody played. Cherry Garcia, Jacqueline Estrella. Then we contacted Zulema Cruz because there was very few, you know, here in the island, but Zulema is like Cuban, so she counts as a
Is it in English or Spanish?
No, it's totally in Spanish, and it aired in Color Visión, the #1 network here in Dominican Republic, on Mother's Day weekend, and we were top rated.
Wow. Wow. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
and
that one was
talk
great.
some more, but we're
That one
already
was
out of time. I know. This is what happens when it takes us a whole year to catch up. But I'm so grateful to you for always bringing it to our viewers. Once again, everyone, Broads Abroad is currently on all major streaming platforms. She named too many for me to rename them all, but just look up Broads Abroad. And of course, Kiki's also being honored at the 11th Annual Dominican Film Festival, which will feature a retrospective of her work and a panel, which is happening on November 7th that we mentioned. And the 8th is going to be at the Copacabana nightclub located at 625 West 51st Street. If you're interested in tickets, you can visit DominicanFilmFestival.com. And of course, if you want to learn more on Kiki and all of her endeavors, you can follow her on all social media platforms at Kiki Melendez. All right, you guys, stay tuned. Kiki Kids, right? You know, I'm just going to tell everybody, stay tuned. Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next. Mwah.